The hotel ballroom smelled like lemon polish and warm bread. Everything was set to honor a man who had spent 40 years being taken seriously. The slideshow looped old photos, him in pressed suits, him holding plaques, him smiling beside people whose names he remembered and mine he often didn't. I had arrived early to help my aunt arrange centerpieces. I wore a dress that didn't ask for approval. I kept my phone in my purse. I planned to leave right after dessert. When my father took the microphone, he cleared his throat the way he always did before saying something he expected to be forgiven for later. He thanked his colleagues, his supervisors, his wife. Then he gestured toward my table. "And this," he said, smiling wider, "is my daughter. No degree, no future. Just free roaming off the family." The laugh came fast, a polite wave first, then a real one. A few people looked at me the way you look at someone who has agreed to be part of the joke. I felt my face settle into stillness, the kind that comes when a decision finishes forming. I stood. I didn't correct him. I didn't explain. I lifted my glass because that was the language of the room. "Cheers," I said. "This is the last time any of you will see me." It wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. I set the glass down untouched and walked out through the side doors, past the staff arranging coffee urns, past the quiet hum of a night that didn't care what had just happened. Outside, the air was cool and ordinary. I waited for my hands to shake. They didn't. I called a rideshare. I went home. The days after were unremarkable in the way real turning points often are. I didn't post anything. I didn't answer the group texts. I moved my belongings from my parents' garage to a small storage unit and stopped by the bank to open an account in my own name. I took an extra shift. I slept. Work was steady. Not impressive. The kind of job people don't brag about at parties. I liked that it paid on time. I liked that my manager said my name without adding commentary. I didn't announce my absence. I let it be noticed. Holidays passed with fewer invitations. When my mother called, her voice carried the careful neutrality of someone waiting to see who would blink first. I didn't argue. I didn't explain the joke wasn't funny. I just said I was busy. Months later, the letter came. It wasn't dramatic. Cream envelope, a firm logo. My father's employer was finalizing retirement benefits, and an administrator needed to confirm emergency contacts and beneficiaries. My name appeared on a form with a checkbox beside it. The box was blank. I went to the office on my lunch break because it was easier than calling. The administrator was efficient, kind in the way people are when they deal in documents, not feelings. "Your father asked us to update his records," she said. "We need written confirmation for removals. If you're no longer to be listed, we require your acknowledgement." She slid the paper across the desk. It was clean. Official. There was a place for my signature. "This doesn't mean anything personal," she added, reflexively. "It's just procedure." I nodded. I read every line. I signed. A week later, my father called. He didn't open with anger. He opened with confusion, which felt more honest. "I got notified," he said. "They said you signed something?"
"Yes."
Silence stretched. I could hear the television in the background, the faint cheer of a game he wasn't watching. "I didn't think you were serious," he said finally. "Not about the form. About the room. About the laugh." "I was," I said. He waited for more. I didn't give it. The power wasn't in persuading him. It was in the fact that the system now recognized a change he couldn't joke his way out of. His employer didn't care about intention. They cared about signatures. After that, the calls became less frequent. When they came, they stayed practical. Weather, schedules, updates without invitations. I didn't become extraordinary. I didn't post a redemption arc. I paid my bills. I learned which silences were peaceful and which ones still hurt. Some nights, I missed the version of him I kept hoping would exist. Other nights, I slept deeply. The next year, on the date of his retirement party, I worked late and ate takeout alone. It wasn't sad. It wasn't triumphant. It was just mine. I thought about the room going quiet after I left, not with satisfaction, but with clarity. That silence wasn't for me. It was for them, adjusting to the absence of someone they had mistaken for permanent. I hadn't taken revenge. I had taken myself out of circulation. And for the first time, that felt like enough.